If you're trying to flip cars, I have a hack for you that will guarantee that you make profit on every single vehicle that you buy. Now, this hack is not going to work if you're a dealer or if you're trying to charge, KBB prices or anything like that. This is if you're just a local person selling a car locally on like Facebook, Craigslist, OfferUp, those sorts of things. And don't worry, I'm not going to bury the lead. Here's the hack. Quite simply, list things on Facebook Marketplace before you buy them. And no, I'm not talking about get a whole bunch of people that are interested in a specific vehicle and then you got to go out and try and beat the bushes and try and find a vehicle. No, I'm talking about finding what a vehicle will sell for in your area before you spend the money to buy. Now, I actually happened on this by accident here when I was purchasing this F-150 Platinum behind me. See, this is a 2010 F-150 Platinum, but the issue is it has rust. And I'm in South Carolina where not a lot of vehicles have rust. And so the issue with it was, how much will a vehicle with rust actually sell for in South Carolina? And I truthfully didn't know. Now, I actually already purchased this vehicle at auction before I did this, right? And so what I did was I grabbed a couple of quick pictures of the outside. I just said runs and drives great, in good condition, except for has rust. And then I snapped some pictures of the rust. And then I threw it up on Facebook Marketplace for right around $7,000. And within 5 minutes, I had over 5 messages from people. And if you list things on Facebook, you know that Facebook takes a little bit to approve it. So it wasn't even live for 5 minutes before I had 5+ people all messaging me saying, I can be there in 10 minutes. I can be there in 15 minutes. I can be there in 20 minutes. I'll bring cash to you right now. Those sorts of messages, right? Not just the, oh, I want to come and test drive it, or, oh, is this still available? No, I'm talking messages of people who wanted to buy it right now. So I 100% knew that I could sell this truck behind me with the rust for at least a minimum of $7,000. Now, I had already purchased this truck at auction, and at auction, I paid $3,600 for this truck. I knew I was gonna have to pay the tax, the title, the tag, and those sorts of things, which puts me, I think, at like $4,300. And the reason why I actually threw it up on Facebook Marketplace in the first place was I was trying to determine, like, okay, I had an issue with like a battery issue or something. The battery light was coming on intermittently, and I was trying to determine, like, okay, how much money can I actually sink in this truck and still make a profit? Because at $3,600, it was a no-brainer to buy, but I didn't really know, like, with the rust, how that would affect its value. Now, what ended up happening was, quite simply, I replaced the battery. That didn't fix it. I replaced the alternator, and that fixed my battery issue. So then I just replaced the front brake pads and rotors, and then that's good to go. So now it runs and drives and stops and everything like perfectly with it, right? So now when I go to list it for sale, which should be in the next week or week and a half, something like that, when I get the title back from the state, when I go to list it for sale, I know that I can sell it for more than $7,000. So I'm going to list it for maybe $8,500. Maybe I'll push it and list it for $8,900. See if I get any bites at that price. And that's how it works for this F-150 behind me. But it can easily work for you as well. Simply, if you're looking at a vehicle at auction, or maybe somebody locally is selling it and they've got, a sign up in the window and, oh, it's listed for this price. Or maybe you've got a neighbor who's selling an old truck and you're like, man, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I don't know if anybody's going to pay that for it. Like, I don't know what the market is for it. Grab a couple pictures, throw it up on Facebook Marketplace, and see if you get a bunch of messages. If you were getting a bunch of messages immediately, those are likely other car flippers. So like if they're messaging right away, it's likely other car flippers. So you know that it'll sell for more than that price. If you're getting a bunch of messages, that means you're listed cheap on the price. So it's probably a safe bet that you could reasonably expect to sell a vehicle for more than that. Maybe $500 more, maybe $1,000 more. Like this one, I'm gonna list for probably $2,000 more than what I had it for. I think my plan is to list it for like $8,900 because I've replaced the battery, I've replaced the alternator, I've replaced brakes, I've done the oil change, I've done all those things to this vehicle. Look, it is clean inside and out besides the rust, right? But I know, worst case scenario, I'm gonna make a profit on this vehicle. I'm just waiting for the title. So there's a hack for you. Make it a little bit easier so you can be sure that you're making a profit on your flips before you ever buy them.